Hi, today I'm going to share briefly about the Sentinel's project efforts in supporting peace building work across the globe, and my presentation will be broken down into several parts. I'll talk briefly about our mission, brief history of our work, then delve into the tools that we've been using to support our efforts, and finally talk a little bit about what we've been doing in regards to misinformation management around the COVID-19 pandemic. The Sentinel Project is a Canadian organization dedicated to assisting communities threatened by mass atrocities through direct cooperation with the people in harm's way and the innovative use of technology. Most of our work to date has primarily been on violence prevention and peace building, and our tools and expertise, however, are also highly relevant to many other development and humanitarian operations that involve using communication technology to engage with beneficiaries. Much of our work to date has focused on misinformation management, which means engaging beneficiary communities in monitoring, verifying, and countering the spread of harmful rumors and misinformation that contribute to conflict, while also helping humanitarian partners to improve their own operations by enhancing their situational awareness. And that's what we have been doing with our Unhakika project in Kenya, Hagiga Wahid project in South Sudan and Northern Uganda, Kijiji cha Amani, which is in DRC Congo, and Peaceful Truth project in Myanmar. Rumors, misinformation, and disinformation which circulates over social media and by word of mouth are complex drivers of conflict and instabilities as they lead to mistrusts, tension, fear among communities. We started our project dubbed Unhakika, which is a Swahili word for "Are you sure?" We launched it in 2013 around the Kenyan general elections in Tana River County, Tana Delta sub-county to be specific, where we did our pilot phase. And this area is occupied predominantly by Oma pastoralists and Pokomo farmers. It's a vast area, sparsely populated, and there are high levels of poverty and even food insecurity. So we did launch the project after a massacre that left over 100 people dead and many others injured and displaced, after a team from the Sentinel project visited Tana River. And in trying to understand what happened, how it happened, and why it happened, realized that many factors such as competition for resources, historical injustices, and ethnic politics led to the violence. But rumors also played a very significant role in fueling the violence between the two warring communities. Some of the rumors circulating at the time are, for example, Orma herders intentionally grazing the cattle on Pokomo's farms, Pokomo health workers trying to inject Orma children with poison instead of vaccine, or for example, an outside actor having armed the Orma community with 3,000 AK-47 to destroy the Pokomo. And this is just some examples. There are many others that touch for example, rape allegations, theft, or planned revenge attacks. Before setting up our misinformation management system, we conducted a baseline survey throughout the Tana Delta area in order to understand the spread of information in the region, what technologies people use to share that information, and in generally understanding the potential users of Unhakika in order to better design the system. One key finding from the survey was that 71% of the 249 respondents believed rumors contributed to violence in the region, while 61% of the respondents had had information they believed to be untrue within the previous 12 months. Out of the 61%, only 49 took further action to verify if the information was true or not true. It was also interesting to learn that majority of the people knew more about events happening at the national level than their neighboring village, proving the existence of information gap, which created a very conducive environment for rumors to thrive. So we established Unahakika essentially to act as an information service to provide subscribers with neutral, accurate information in response to rumors that arise within the objectives of filling the information gap, training community members on the importance of verifying rumors, the negative impact of spreading rumors, and also inspire attitudinal change regarding rumors and verification. So how we did this is that we did set up a toll-free SMS line, 21512, short code where community members will subscribe and submit rumors they hear. Once Unahakika team receives a report about a rumor, our team goes into action to verify it and report back to the community members about whether the rumor is true or not true. So this process involves gathering a lot of information from various sources, for example, community ambassadors, a local authority, other NGOs operating in the area, and then trying to make sense of it while mapping subsequent reports of rumors to see how they develop and flow through the area. And that's where WikiRumors comes in as our purpose-built software for managing Unahakika workflow. So WikiRumors, which is a brainchild of the Sentinel project, doubles up as a piece of software and an implied workflow for triaging and responding to misinformation and disinformation. It can be accessed on the web or downloaded as an app in Google Play Store. This is how it appears when you go to Google Play Store. You just Google Unahakika app, and then you can download it on your mobile phone. The workflow used is a three-step process encompassing data intake, moderation, and intervention. There are four primary inputs into WikiRumors. So people can either send us rumors via voice, SMS, email, or directly go and key in the information on WikiRumors. This is a screen grab of how the web appears and how the information appears when posted on WikiRumors. It's also possible to interact directly with the WikiRumor database, and it's easy for us to use WikiRumors because it helps manage unique rumors and subsequent sightings on reports, showing how widespread they are. These rumors and reports may be attributed to particular users or remain anonymous depending on the logistical, ethical privacy, and security consideration in a given deployment. So this is just an example of one of the rumors that was posted by one of our team members in northern Uganda around COVID-19. And as you can see, you're able to see this rumor, and then sightings mean how many times the same rumor has been reported in different places or different days. And you're able to capture information, for example, where the rumor originated from, the day and the time, who reported it, did they report it via voice message or SMS, was it via web-based, and then we are able to also conclude the rumor, tag it, for example, whether it's in line with the specific thematic area, public health, pandemic, and then finally we are able to conclude the rumor and post it on WikiRumors. So this helps us also now to go back to our SMS platform and reply back to the community members as to whether the rumor is true or false. So it makes our work easy in terms of managing the rumors. So each rumor also assign metadata, which facilitates triage and analysis. For example, geotagging, categorization, and validation status. So WikiRumors has been enhanced over the years by adding features that are appropriate, for example, visualization capabilities. And one of the reasons for visualization and mapping, it enables us to better understand how different types of rumors spread through population in relation to geographical, demographic, and other factors. Ultimately, such may inform predictive analysis, enabling misinformation managers to anticipate and proactively counter the spread of misinformation. So on this map, you can see the areas that are in red are areas where a certain rumor, concentration of a certain rumor is high, and then keeps on spreading to other colors depending on how widespread the rumor is. And a good example is this rumor that we were tracking in Tana Delta when we were doing our projects there. So there was a rumor that began in this area called Kipini. After a day, the rumor moved to a certain small center called Witu, which is kind of a junction as well. So when it reached Witu, this rumor spread in different directions. And as you can see, jumped over to Garsen, a small village called Ngao, and another one called Kipini. And then, for example, when you come to Kipao, the next day the rumor moved to this place called Terasa and Oda. So why this is important is because we are able to, for example, predict where next certain rumor might go to, and possibly go ahead of it and counter it before its effect reaches the other village. And as you can see in this case, it was very interesting also to learn that it looked like the rumors were just following the highway, because this Kipini to Garsen road is the main road from Garsen to Lamu, and it seems like this rumor was kind of following a certain path, then reaching the center, which is called Witu, splits to other villages. So these are some examples of rumors that we analyzed using WikiRumors. And as you can see, a big fire, for example, outbreak in Kilelengwani. This rumor was reported 16 times by 16 different subscribers, and these were from 7 different villages. And this was after 7 days, and later on we confirmed that the rumor is true. So why we do this is because we're able to now kind of map the spread of misinformation across space and time. So that makes it easy for us to manage rumors. And so with the help of community ambassadors that we trained in Tana Delta, we are able to recruit 16,000 subscribers across 300 villages. And out of the rumors, this is an old data, but I'm using it for illustration. Out of the 800 rumors that we had already worked on at the time, 44% were true, 31% were false, and we have this category called impossible to verify, 25%. So these are rumors, for example, that we try our best to verify, but we are not able to. If, for example, someone tells us about rumors, for example, 1,000 people have been spotted in a certain bush, then it may be impossible for us to verify and report back to them. So we always maintain our honesty and inform them that you're not able to verify that kind of information. So after years of doing our project, there are several lessons that we learned, which we call principles of misinformation management. And the first one is responsive, which means that for an effective misinformation management system, it must be responsive. That is, being able to provide information based on what subscribers request and react to community needs instead of broadcasting an one-way information flow. So the system should not only be extractive, getting information for people, but there should be feedback mechanism attached to it. Then targeted, it must have the ability to send counter messaging back to specific locations or group that have reported rumors, and this is because it minimizes an intentional spread while also ensuring responsiveness. So the good thing about our SMS platform is that it allows us to categorize different communities differently and locations. So we can take, for example, community A and put them in one category, community B, C, and D, so that whenever we want to only address a rumor that has been circulating in community A, then we can target a message directly to that community without spreading it further to other communities. Sensitive, the initiative should be able to account for local dynamics, engage relevant stakeholders, and use appropriate communication channels, especially during verification and counter messaging. And then finally, it should be timely. That is being able to prioritize and verify rumors as quickly as possible, since misinformation can travel quickly, especially with the aid of information and communication technologies. Over the years, we've developed specialized softwares integrated with locally accessible means of communication and gained extensive experience with monitoring information flows, early warning, and counter messaging to contain and dispel incendiary rumors while exploring the applicability of the model in multiple contexts, such as disaster response, governance, and even public health. We launched Hagiga Wahid in Juba and the refugee camps in northern Uganda. Hagiga Wahid means one truth in Juba Arabic, operates just the same way as Una Hakika does. And it's a project that the Sentinel team launched with the aim of being able to improve access to information on a day-to-day basis among South Sudanese refugees and ultimately support positive behavioral change by establishing, training, and equipping a broad community of practice focused on countering misinformation, as well as enabling effective decision-making by key stakeholders, and especially those focused on peace and security. The protracted conflict and the humanitarian crisis in South Sudan has displaced more than a quarter of the country's population, most of whom have fled into northern Uganda. So this massive influx of refugees from different ethnic groups has imported some conflict dynamics into the refugee settlement while also exerting pressure on resources, which some host communities view as a threat. So refugees in the camps are vulnerable to misinformation-induced instability and intercommunal tensions. And our initial findings from field assessment revealed refugee divisions along tribal and political lines, which have transposed into the camps, excuse me. Rumors and misinformation which create an atmosphere of fear and distrust circulate mostly through word of mouth, SMS messages, social media platform. That's why we established Hagiga Wahid as a transnational system that allows the flow of accurate information across the borders. And that by that I mean refugees are able to get facts about events or happening back at home. At the same time, people in South Sudan are able to know what's happening back in the refugee camps, and instead of relying on hearsays and rumors. So one classical example of rumors that sparked a lot of tensions in South Sudan and in the refugee camps involved the death of the president, alleged death of the president. Being a country with the history of assassinations or political figures, spreading of such rumors will lead to very dire consequences and potentially sparking deadly violence. And there are many other examples of these kinds of rumors that Hagiga Wahid has been investigating and helping to calm the situation in the camps and in Juba and in South Sudan, just by sharing facts and dispelling false information. And now to public health, the current COVID-19 pandemic poses significant public health challenge worldwide, a situation which is likely to be more severe in countries like South Sudan, which are low income and fragile, of course, and especially among the displaced population. So in this context, rumors and misinformation are likely to both hinder public health response and increase the risk of interpersonal and intercommunal violence, as has been elsewhere in the world with the xenophobic attacks and the rest. So our contacts on the ground in refugee settlements indicate that rumors about COVID-19 are already causing significant fear. Some of the examples are, for example, a few people testing positive and being unable to trust them. For example, drinking black tea without sugar, curing the disease, and children below the age of 10 not getting infected. And there are many others. around, for example, uh, certain type of people with certain skin colors not getting infection just based on their skin color, and those kind of false global false rumors. So Hagiga Wahid currently functions as a responsive information service which crowdsource rumor reports from beneficiaries who subscribe to the system and then provide them with accurate verified information in response. So this follows basic 3 steps. The first one is rumor monitoring, where users submit reports via SMS and or even voice calls with the possibility of also engaging through social media platforms, email, web-based interaction, and mobile applications where relevant. The second stage is verification. Once a new misinformation is identified, it's logged into our purpose-built Wikirumor software in order to track its spread, both geographically and chronologically, while Hagiga Wahid team verifies whether the given report is true or false. Then the final stage is counter messaging. So once a given rumor has been investigated and confirmed as true or false, measures are implemented to contain and counter it within appropriate messaging delivered through SMS broadcasts, social media, and other channels, including engaging stakeholders such as community leaders, religious leaders, government officials, and NGOs for offline interventions. So as part of engaging beneficiaries, we train community volunteers, or whom we call community ambassadors from each village, who are the human face of the project. Their role is very critical in all the stages of the project, that is data intake, the investigation part, and even dissemination. And why we use the community ambassadors is because, for example, if there is a rumor that is about village B, and this rumor, someone from village A wants to know what is happening in village B, or has heard about a rumor that is circulating in village B, and they want to know the facts, what we do is we contact our community ambassadors in village B and ask them, and then once we get the verified information, we go back to the person in village A and report back to them with the correct information and let them understand whether whatever they had was true, false, or it was impossible to verify. So apart from the community ambassadors, we also work with the local authorities very much. And as I had mentioned earlier, we also work with the area chiefs, we work with the other NGOs in the area, the clergy, leaders of women group and youth group, just to make sure that we gather facts from different sources of information before disseminating back. And at times, you're even forced to do a physical site visit to go and confirm or verify information. So for any questions regarding my presentation, feel free to reach us. Visit our website, www.thesentinelproject.org, or you can reach one of our team members through the emails below. And thank you very much for your audience.